Well, we are always grateful for the time of the mayor of Overland Park. He is Curt Skoog, and he joins us here on KCMO Talk Radio, now on FM at 95.7. Mr. Mayor, good morning. Thanks for being here. We appreciate your time.
Good morning, Pete. Congratulations on the FM station.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Loud and clear across all Overland Park, top to bottom, east to west. So it's all good. It should be good for the reach across your community. So we haven't spoken here in the last few weeks. I just want to start off with your police chief search. Obviously, it was an abrupt resignation for Frank Donchez, who had served the community for several years. So where are you at on your police search there in Overland Park?
Well, thanks for that question. The police chief of Overland Park is a key leader in our community, and so we're looking forward to doing a nationwide search for our next police chief. We're in the process of putting together a community committee, as we have in the past, to help set what the job description is, to work with the search firm that we're going to use to find candidates, and then to help us go through the initial submittals of resumes. Because it's important that the police chief of any community, but especially Overland Park, is aware of and supports our community and what our needs are, and that our focus is always on being a welcoming community to everybody. If you live here, if you work here, if you're driving through here, we want everybody to feel welcome in Overland Park.
Is that a suggestion that Overland Park was not a welcoming place under Frank Donchez's leadership?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay,
no.
gotcha.
Not a reflection on him at all.
Okay.
No, this is, when you fill positions, you're looking to the future.
Okay.
And what our community is looking for, and it's going to be a great process, and I'm very optimistic that we will find a great new police chief.
And last thing on that, I mean, was he forced to resign due to that interaction with Sheila Albers? Because that was the suggestion. The report from KMBC said that the chief was forced to resign. Well,
the chief chose to resign. And beyond that, I'll leave it to what's been reported. But the chief had an unfortunate situation, and after discussions with the city manager, he decided to resign.
Okay. Mayor Curt Skoog, Overland Park, is on KCMO Talk Radio. You guys obviously finalizing budgets and going through all those processes right now. What is the headline that Overland Park residents should take coming out of this budget process?
Well, I think that we've completed our budget process. It's approved, and we have an exciting year ahead of us. And then when we think of capital improvements, we do that on a 5-year basis. So our budget this year is going to be $430.6 million. And out of that, we're making great improvements across the community. As you know, Pete, the public approved a 3/8 cent sales tax dedicated to street infrastructure. So that is incorporated in this budget, and that is going to allow us to double the amount of mill and overlay we do on residential streets, and will bring us an 18% reduction in chip seal usage. We continue to work to reduce our chip seal usage. But in addition to that, we have a new park that's going to be built in South Overland Park. We're redoing a major park in the northern part of the city. We have funds for the new farmers market in the budget, if approved by the city council. We're rebuilding a fire station. We're building Quivira from 179th to 181st Street. That's a $10 million project. And 167th Street from Antioch to Metcalf. Those are the big capital improvements that are in our budget for this upcoming year. Because, Pete, as you know, we're working to improve the quality of life here in Overland Park every day. And in the city's part, right, where we upgrade the street infrastructure and all that. But there's hundreds of millions of dollars invested every year by the private sector in Overland Park.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is enhances Overland Park as a great place to live, work, and play. And as we have for decades, we're attracting talented people to come live in Overland Park in the Kansas City metropolitan area to support our businesses and drive our economy.
You know, I was looking at this last night as we got set for our conversation. I saw the 2021 budget in Overland Park was $298 million. So that's a 43% increase in the city's budget over the last 3 years. Is that sustainable?
Well, a couple things that are important to understand in that. Number one is Overland Park has the lowest property tax in the state of Kansas. We have the lowest in the Kansas City metropolitan area. So on a typical home in Overland Park of $430,000, your property tax to Overland Park is $700. Okay, so first to understand that. So the last 2 years, which is what I've been responsible for,
mm-hmm.
we've seen a 10% increase in revenue from property tax, just from increased appraisals. We're very aware of what that is. It's approximately $10 million a year. And so what we've done is we've taken that $10 million and dedicated it to three things actually: public safety, street maintenance and infrastructure, increasing the mill and overlay that we do in our neighborhoods, and then personnel. We did a study of personnel, where our employees are pay-wise, and we did it across the board pay raise and some other selected pay raises. So we make sure that we continue to have quality employees serving our community. Mm-hmm. So now that we have done that, the question will be next year, if we see another increase in appraised value, it'll be for the council to decide, as we have every year, do we want to take a look at reducing the mill levy? We always look at that. Or are there higher priorities that our residents have? And in the last 2 years, the council has decided that those priorities of reducing chip seal, right? Mm-hmm. So increasing mill and overlay, and then making sure our employees are paid appropriately is how we've done it. But Overland Park has, I want to say this just one more time, the lowest mill levy in the state of Kansas. We're half of Lenexa, almost half of Leawood. And so every day for decades, Overland Park has been focused on delivering high quality value to our residents for an efficient city operation.
So you do believe, even though the budget's gone up 43% in 3 years, you think that's an efficient operation you guys are running in there in Overland Park, just to be clear?
Again, let me emphasize this again, Pete. We have the lowest property tax in the state of Kansas, mm-hmm. right? So I ask residents of Overland Park, if for an average house of all your property tax bill, we're approximately 13%, right? So mm-hmm. for $700 a year, you're getting police and fire and parks and one of the highest quality of life in the country, mm-hmm. with quality infrastructure. Is it worth $700 a year to you to do that?
Mm-hmm. I think most would say yes.
If you think Leawood does it better, you can pay $1,300 mm-hmm. a year. Right?
Well, because
if you think Lenexa does it better, you can pay $1,400 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're right. I mean, a lot of it goes to schools and the county, and obviously there's many other folks involved on those property tax rates. You are correct on that. So what is this next year? You mentioned some of the upgrades that you've got coming there in Overland Park. The next year, Curt Skoog, as the mayor, you've got critical city council races coming up as well here in just a couple of weeks. Are you getting involved? Are you doing any endorsements in these city council races?
I am. This is the first time that I have ever endorsed a candidate that was not an incumbent is in this race. So I have publicly endorsed in 2 races this year, and that are not incumbents. And I encourage everybody to vote on November 7th. Local elections typically have a very low turnout. So I encourage everybody to vote. Do your research and vote on November 7th.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that we got to have more focus because it's individuals like you and the city council who in many ways have more of an impact on your residents' lives than the people in Washington, D.C. I think we can agree on that. All right, and where can people find those endorsements? Because now I'm curious who you're endorsing, unless you want to share them on the air.
I'm happy to share on the air. So in Ward 5, which is kind of the south eastern part of the city primarily, I'm endorsing Inas Jonas. Inas is an amazing person. She has been a leader in the community. She has been involved in committees. She knows the ward very well. She will represent the ward exceptionally well. So I encourage you to go check out Inas Jonas. That's INAS. She's an amazing person.
Okay.
So I encourage you to do that. And then in Ward 6, which is the farthest south in the city, I'm endorsing Chris Newland. Chris was previously on the city council and did an amazing job. He is very connected to Ward 6 and will be a great voice for the residents of Ward 6 in the community. Well, and most importantly, Chris Newland will show up to meetings, unlike the incumbent, and will work for his residents every day.
All right, Mayor Skoog, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate the update on Overland Park.
Thank you, Pete, and have a great rest day. Hey, everybody that's driving on 69, thank you for your patience as KDOT makes an important key investment in our community to improve 69 Highway.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for NASCAR after driving up and down 69 Highway. So thank you for that, Mr. Mayor. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.